Just going to check and make sure I'm actually live here. So, over the last couple of weeks, I've been, so this is, yeah, I'm on. So today, I'm talking about how I saved a 40-year-old masonry restoration business. This is part three. So, 2 weeks ago, I talked about, um, so this is essentially, this is a short, simple version of how I attacked the problems. I think also what's great, for all the folks in our group here, what's great for you is I think most of you probably aren't having the same difficulties that we were having, because I think a lot of the folks in here have, frankly, a healthier business than the business that I took over. Um, so so I've been talking about essentially like the map, right? So I started here and I landed here, and here was losing a lot of money. Here we were making millions. So first of all, I attacked pricing and production, because that informs so much, right? Especially in as a contractor. Secondly, I then, once we had kind of our arms around how we were pricing jobs, and then going out and producing them, and so we had some kind of like lather, rinse, repeat, something that we could do again and again. Then I knew we could get much more specific about what we looked at, leads, like basically our target customer, and that informed what leads we looked at and what jobs we looked at. And as I was saying last week, I said no. I mean, I say 50%. It was probably upwards of like 65, 70% of the leads that came in, and a lot of them would be like emails that weren't even, were for like bricky masons, guys that build stuff. We were a restoration repair shop. So anyway, and so today I want to talk about the third thing, that was really, I thought, that in the last, so after we kind of turned things around, we got a lot of momentum, because everybody was rowing in the same direction and in the right direction. And that is, essentially the people and culture. So first thing I attacked was pricing and production. The second was the customer, and the third thing was like people who we had, right? Who was in the foxhole with me, and then like what it was like to be in that foxhole. so so where do I start with this? So first of all, there are, and this maybe will be helpful. So there are four kinds of employees. There are the can and wills, right? So the can and will, this is the person that can do the job, will do the job. These are our leaders. These are our producers. Our superstars are in this group. They set the tone, and they're going to be 50 to 80%, so the Pareto principle, 20% of the people do 80% of the output. They're going to be in that. This is your 20%, right? These are I can do the job and I will do the job, right? The next group is can, but won't. So these are your negative Nancy's. These are our people that are, just some of the most frustrating, right? Even the folks that can't do the job, like it's more frustrating when someone can do it and just chooses not to, right? So this strategy with these folks, I'm not getting the weeds here, but like for the can but won'ts, like it's a very short string, right? So it's like up, you improve or get the F out. These folks drag down morale because the can and wills, they like the folks that are producing look at these folks and are like, how the hell do they have a job, right? The people that can't do the work, right, that are learning, they look at them and they're like, and they see they get this terrible example. So it's like they are poison. All right. The third is the cannot, but will do the work, right? can't, but once they're trained, they will do it. These are the folks that end up being the most loyal a lot of times. And these are these are the folks that you just want to water with training, encouragement, and these are your future can and wills, right? So these are your future leaders, future producers. These are the folks that are going to help you expand, help train the next can't but will. So, this is your next, the next group of people, next group of employees that you want to, you want to encourage, you want to do everything you can to support these people. And because they'll learn from you. And then again, like I said, they will be crazy, crazy, crazy loyal. And then the last group is the can'ts and won'ts. And so again, we're going to train these folks. If they don't improve their competency, it's probation and then it's termination, right? So this is, again, short fuse for these folks, because it's one thing to not have the skill. It's another to choose not to learn. We're not going to tolerate that, because that's not going to be good for our business, right? And these also frustrate the producers, because unlike the can't or the can but won't folks, the can't and won't, or the can't but won't, they're doubly frustrating because they don't know and they don't want to know, right? So again, these folks, again, it's a short, it's like, again, it's up or out. You get it, you get that, you learn how to do it, you choose to do it, or you get the F out. So the reason why I'm sharing this is, one, I think it's helpful to frames like this, I think, are helpful. They help, it helps me, and I believe it helps others. I believe it'll help you kind of like have this simple frame and go, okay, like because you can kind of like move people into these different categories, because everyone is in one of them, right? Roughly a third of our staff in the masonry restoration business were either can but won't, or can't and won't. So once I had the pricing system built and we had improved production where, we could tackle some really large projects and do it with tremendous efficiency and profitability. Once we had that and I had identified the can and wills and the can't but will folks, once I had identified that group, which was about 60% of our staff, the other 30%, I was like, they got to go. Right. And of course, just so that no one thinks I'm an a-hole here. I mean, I gave folks, I was very, very, probably too generous, gave everybody a chance, but the folks that proved that they did not want to, like they were either, again, can but won't, or can't and won't, it was, some were terminated. Some just decided to quit because they didn't want to, I was putting so much on, I was putting a lot of responsibility. Again, if you're in that can but won't, and you're just getting you're getting bombarded with, these executions and like these processes, and, and the next guy's doing them. And then, cause then what happens is the other two groups, the can and the can and can'ts and will, they're pissed at the other. So now they're like, there's all this social pressure on the other two groups. So I don't remember exactly. I'd have to sit down and really think about how many we terminated versus how many left, but it was fairly, again, it kind of, what we did was, and this is the other part, so I'm going to talk about people and culture. So as we changed the culture, as it became more of a production culture, more of a merit-based culture, where the people that were producing, I rewarded substantially more with cash money, right? Both in their hourly and in profit